You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah, I
So,
remember.
hey everyone, welcome to R6SC Academy today, and it's brought to you in conjunction with R6SC and SCAPE Esports. So, before we dive deep into things today, we'll probably be doing a little bit of an introduction. So, I'll show you the introduction. We'll actually be screen sharing in the Discord, so just join in, then we'll do this together. Okay, let me know when you guys are in, but basically I'll get started now. So getting to know us, my name is actually Valone Cell. I'm also known as Divine. I'm 22 years old this year, and I used to play console Siege. So console Siege for me was a pastime after I think my JC time. That was when I didn't really have a lot of time to play games, but I still wanted to be a little bit part of the FPS scene. Don't ask me why I chose console, but it was the only means I had to play FPS. And Siege was something that I fell in love with there, and I actually hit champion rank a few times in console. Recently also I achieved second in the 2021 Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Philippines Operation League, and I'm a 3x current diamond on PC. So with me today and for the remaining of the academy will be Jordan or JShift. He's 26 years old and he does BMX riding, and he's also a 3x Plat 2 on PC, and he does the community outreach side of R6SC.
Hello.
So before I dive deep, we're going to give you a little bit of a course outline. We'll actually be presenting 7 topics over the course of this academy, and they'll be split into 4 lessons. So lesson 1 will encompass callouts and droning. Lesson 2, angles and setups. Then lesson 3, how to hold a position and roaming. Then finally, the last lesson, plays and fundamentals of clutch. So after the whole of this course outline, and once you run through all the topics, we'll actually be getting you guys to do a very hands-on 5v5 to see what you guys have learned. So yeah, let's move on to chords. Class 1. So, a little bit of a brief breakdown. I like to start off with a rule of thumb for every topic. So, just to get you a general feel of what chords mean or droning means, that kind of thing. So, rule of thumb for chords would be calm and clear, right? Also using urgency in your voice to highlight actions of importance. So sometimes when your friend is about to get C4, you have to raise your voice a bit and say, "Hey, C4, C4, C4." Let him be a bit more aware of that is coming, so he's prepared and he's ready to react. Chords are something that I always like to say are simple but hard to master. So let's go through some tips that I have for chords. So 1, avoid unnecessary clutter when giving chords and don't whine. So I'm pretty sure some of you might go through a team setting where you're playing ranked or you're playing a little bit of casual. Then you have a friend that likes to whine a lot once he dies. He will say, "Wow, he actually headshot me. How was that a headshot?" That kind of thing. And then it causes a lot of stacking of comms. And it might be a bit confusing for you especially when you're trying to refrag or you're trying to establish where he is. So let me hear a little bit from you guys. What do you think about whining? Have you encountered it? That kind of thing. So maybe Fast Track, you can give me your opinion on it.
Um, I have encountered that a lot, but usually I just don't care much about it, or the uh, I just watch the replay and then I get to know, okay, that's what I did wrong, and I just should have looked out for it.
Replays allows you to, better understand what you could have done better and better learn from your own mistakes. So that's something we'll probably talk about in the future, but nice point. I like that a lot. Let's move on to number 2. So how did you die? So normally once you die, you might be a bit confused, but they gives you a little bit of a snapshot. The game gives you a little bit of a snapshot before you die, like, hey, this is where you died roughly. Then you might be able to tell. So for me personally, I like to use this process where I'll say the location of the operator, like uh if it's in Clubhouse, like the map that we'll be using for majority of this academy, I'll say maybe he's in garage, he's on the catwalk, then it was a Jaeger and he's standing, that kind of thing. This allows my teammate to better react to my death and allow them to maybe get that refrag just a little bit faster. It speeds up things. So maybe Daitoke, have you done such things, or what do you do after you die normally? Like what's your call like?
Usually I'll just do tell my teammates where the guys is. Uh, Yeah, that's all basically.
There, right? Like you can
Yeah.
actually tell him a little bit more, like just to help him understand. Because like as we all know, Clubhouse is a huge map. Then especially an area like Garage, there's so many areas to check. So if you're able to tell him pinpoint exactly where he is, who he is, and how is he standing, like his stance might be a bit better in the long run.
Mm.
So let's move on to point 3. When droning on camps, let your teammate know what camps you have and what camps you're on. So this is actually a very interesting point for both attackers and defenders, especially when you're droning. A lot of you might cross your mind, but when you're droning, you always want to let your teammate know where exactly your drone is looking at and where you're going next. So for me, right, I always used to play a lot of support when I was on my team. So I'll see Bana, then I'll drone my teammate into strip to do like a roam clear kind of thing. So whenever I was droning, I would say, hey, I replaced my drone in strip. It's clear, I'm gonna drone billets first, then I'm gonna drone bar, then I'll loop around back to bathroom. So when I say such things, right, it actually allows my teammates to entry frag without anxiety or without fear. It allows them to know what to look at, where to look at, and when to look at the certain location in the map. So when you're droning, it's something that you can think of and incorporate into your play, and it'll make you a better droner overall and a better teammate overall. So for defense, right, defense is a little bit more situational. You have to see whether you are even safe or secure to be on camps, and if you are, you might have teammates that are roaming, which is very common in ranked. Everybody loves to roam. So whenever you're on camps, you can tell your teammates, hey, I have only these camps left. I have only the top main, the bottom main, the garage, and the bar camp. So when they're roaming, right, they have a rough idea of where the attackers are coming from the camps that are shot out, and also which camps that you can get on to help them potentially if they're being pressured by the attackers doing a roam clear. So moving on to the last point, ultimately aim to paint a picture.
Sorry, before you just
Yeah,
move on, I just had one question.
yeah, no worries.
So this is very common. Like when I play with my team, so what happens is we push from like we do a split push usually. So what happens is somewhere for an example, there is a roamer at one position, and we just call out that. But at the same time, some other guy is pushing from another area. So how do you prioritize between comms? Like what is more important at that?
Okay, so when you're doing a split push, so you're saying that you only drone from one side of the building while you're doing a split push, or are you droning from both sides? So that's something I
Uh,
need to know.
so it would be like a 3-2. So
Yeah.
supports would be split up, and they'd be droning from both the ends.
I see. So for specifically from my experience, we used to do a little bit of a buddy system where I would say, hey, I'm gonna drone this guy and this guy exclusively. So he can only listen to my voice and take in the information that I have. However, if you hear that the information is relevant to you, maybe you're in close proximity of the information, you can also act on it, but I'm not gonna talk to you directly. You're just gonna have to pick it up. So for your teammate that's entering from the opposite side of the building, right, I'll assume there's another support player droning him. So maybe that's his little duo buddy when he's droning. When you guys spot a roamer in the middle, it's either one of the supports that's gonna be giving the main call out to tell him that, hey, there's a roamer here. You can wait for the other guy from the opposite side to hold angle, then we can pressure him into running into the other guy instead of, both of you collapsing. Because sometimes when both of you collapse, a lot of accidents might happen and then you guys might shoot each other or the roamer might get a kill. Then after that he might, leak into the other side where the attacker died. So just try to establish angles, then try to pressure him into the other guy that's coming from the other side. So that's what we normally do. But that's a good question. I like that. Thank you.
Yep. So because of that, I think like in my team there is a lot of clutter of comms, as you mentioned earlier.
Mm.
So that's why I just thought I'll ask it to you.
Yeah, so try that next time. Maybe tell your teammate, hey, I'm gonna make a lot of pressure, we're gonna flash him, we're gonna buck out the wall, that kind of thing. That causes the roamer to have a lot of fear, a lot of pressure, so he will run into the opposite direction, especially when he doesn't have a really good team coordination with the rest of his team. He might not actually know that you're pushing from the opposite side. So try to catch him in the middle instead of pushing into him. That's my tidbit for you.
All right. Yeah. Thanks.
So for ultimately aim to paint a picture for your teammates. So I'll get into this in later detail, but in the next slide. But does anyone have any general questions here for this slide? Assassin, you have any questions since you just joined in?
No, I don't have any questions right now.
Okay. So bait, you got anything?
No.
Yeah, okay. Let's move on then. Okay, so painting a picture. So I like to use this term painting a picture because in a game like Siege, right, the maps are very huge. There's a lot of verticality, there's a lot of destructibility. So whenever you guys are droning out the area or maybe droning your friend in or on camps, you always want to let your teammate know what you're seeing without him actually seeing it. So that's what I mean by paint a picture. So the next question will come out from you might be, how do you paint a picture, right? So I actually have 3 pointers here that I'll get into. So number one is what you are doing and what angle are you holding. So whenever you're doing something, it might lapse your brain a little bit because you're very focused, right? I do it all the time, and I'm pretty sure you guys do too. Whenever, especially you're doing a roam, let's say you're doing a roam in the CCTV cache area, and then you want to make this impact hole and run back down the red stairs because you're being pressured, but you don't actually say to your teammate that you're falling back, so your teammate doesn't know when he's roaming in master, right? So when you actually do that, your teammate might stay a little bit longer than he needs to, and he might die. So to prevent those kind of things, I always like to say, hey, I'm gonna go for a flank play, I'm gonna drop down, then I'm gonna come up the red stairs, that kind of thing. So always keep your teammates informed, let them know what you're doing, so they know where you are without actually having to turn around and look at you through the map and see your outline. Because the outlines are also a little bit not consistent sometimes, you might misperceive the distance. What angle are you holding? So for angle holding, right, when you guys are clearing a building or maybe waiting to execute a site, you realize that the roamers like to the site anchors like to shuffle around a lot because they're being pressured. Like the breach is already open, they have less and less space to play inside the site. So in order to get free kills, I like to say, always try to tell your teammates, I'm gonna hold this angle, you're holding this angle. Then if there's an angle that's being not watched, another teammate can watch it instead of both of you watching the same angle. Or you guys can even say, hey, we are man countdown. We don't have so many people to hold the angle, so just be wary of this certain angle. Yeah, so that's what I mean by what angle are you holding. Two, what type of utility is present? So Siege is a game where there's a lot of gadgets, and sometimes the gadgets have a huge impact on how the round plays out. As simple as barbed wire might even cause your death. So whenever you're joining out a site for your teammates, this is more attacker specific, obviously. Let them know what are you actually seeing. What type of utility is present? Is there 2 sets of barbed wire, 3 ADSs here, a shield here? Then if you realize of this information that hey, they're actually very heavy, like let's say the basement bomb side, they're very heavy into the armory side of things, right? The kitchen has drop kind of side of things. You might actually try to deviate your push or change your push into a church push because it's a little bit more light on the utility. It's easier to take. So that allows you to maybe formulate a better game plan and lead to a better round success overall in ranked. Especially ranked is something where there's a lot of unknowns. You guys don't probably play with as much coordination and teamwork. So if you're able to just give a little bit more information, you might be able to leverage off that and make a better play. Three. So what does the enemy setup look like? So setup and utility are not to be confused. They're actually very different things. So setup practically means how are they setting up to hold a bomb site? Are they reinforcing all 3 of the church walls? Or are they only reinforcing one with a line of sight? Or are they impact tricking, right? Impact tricking the kitchen hatch, which is very common. This kind of little things where you see the vertical holes, the lines of sights, the rotates, it lets you know roughly how your opponent wants to play the bomb site. And you ideally don't want to play into it, right? So by droning it out properly, it will allow you to have a better idea of how it looks like and then take the necessary action later in the round to, go out the round win or go for a fast plan, post plan kind of scenario. So I might have already alluded to this, but anyone have any questions yet at this point? Okay, so why do you paint a picture? So one is also, I haven't talked about this, but it allows your teammates to play their positions better. It's not only about the angles you hold, but sometimes the way you hold an angle, like maybe the position you're in can be a little bit better if you allow your teammates to know what you're doing or what angle are you missing. So let's say whenever the construct wall is open in CCTV cache, right, you can actually play deep into the bedroom. You have a very long angle that's almost impossible to challenge. So by allowing your teammates know, hey, the wall is open, they can play a better position instead of so close up in construction, that kind of thing. 2, allow for coordination to clear said utility. So sometimes it might be very balanced throughout the bomb sites. Like they have the equal amount of utility, then you can't really maybe punish your opponent for being utility heavy on one side. You can actually say, hey, never mind, we will just do our default. We will just do maybe a standard kitchen drop. But can you clear this shield for me in the hallway, down the church hallway first? Then when you drone out and you say there's a shield, instead of keeping quiet, let your teammates know, hey guys, there's a shield here, I need help to clear this. Then maybe your Hibana with the flashes and then your slash with the nade and clear it out from the vertical angles. 3, allow for attacking strategies that are advantageous. So what do I mean by attacking strategies that are advantageous? So sometimes when you drone out the site, right, especially like let's say a gym defense or a cache defense, that kind of thing, you might realize that maybe they're not really denying the garage wall, they're not really denying the construction wall, or they're not playing heavy into cache when they're on a gym defense. So when they're not doing that, you can actually give and take. It's something that I like to say a lot. When your opponent gives you something, make sure you take it. You have to punish them for the overall freedom that they give you, right? And then it's also something you should do on defense, but overall on attack, like let's say if they give you something for free, utilize it, take it, and then play it against them. So yeah, that's what I mean by why do you paint a picture. Any questions? So maybe like Fast Track, you can share me your opinion on, have you done this in ranked, maybe?
I've tried doing this in rank, but usually what happens is there's like a lot of comms chaos. Like everyone's like talking over each
I see.
other, and then you have to figure out what information is like actually relevant to you and how you're playing. So my question is, how do you even
Get this.
get good comms? Start having a habit of good comms, and what, in your opinion, is like good communication between teammates? Do you have
So
an example for that? If it like that would be really
So
good.
for good examples will come on later in the form of videos, but in general, when you talk about trying to have good comms, right, I think it's a mentality that everyone should have when going into a game, because it's kind of like I always like to say winner's mentality. Whenever you have a winner's mentality, you're more likely to win instead of beating yourself up and then psyching yourself and thinking, I'm gonna lose. So if you go into a game and say to yourself, I'm gonna try my best to have good comms today, and then your team also has that mindset, it might help you guys, in the overall scheme of things. It might allow you guys to be more mindful of what you say and maybe not blabber on so much when giving on a call. Then maybe even allow your IGL in the rank stack to make a play. But in general, if you want to get better comms or make better individual slash team plays, I would suggest watching people like people that I used to watch when I started Siege was like Macy J, Varsity Gaming, those kind of things. But Macy J, I really like his full game Fridays because you actually can see him sometimes coordinate with his rank stack because he plays solo rank a lot. And you notice that he asks for help when he needs to, and he doesn't when he doesn't need to. So he finds that very perfect balance of this is when I need to talk and this is when I don't. So maybe if you're watching, you can pick up some of those pointers that he does or those habits that he has, and it can overall improve your level of play. So yeah, those are some people that I look towards when I was actually starting out in Siege. So be about
I
the
have
rest. Yeah.
another question. So
Yeah.
it's not necessarily from the ranked perspective, but from the competitive scene perspective. So let's say in the ideal case, the calls are all calm and quiet, but we know that that doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
So what are your tips to maintain the calmness in the callouts throughout the match? Like there could be heated moments in the game. So what
Yeah.
tips would you
Okay.
suggest?
So sometimes there are very messy moments because I play a lot of competitive. So and you're right in the sense that there are some moments where it's very explosive. Like when you're doing a roam clear, right? All shit sometimes hits the fan, right? Then there might be a lot of action going on in that short 10 to 20-second burst, and then it might be very confusing. But the best thing you can do is to use your tone. So sometimes when we are droning normally, right, we have a very calm tone. We're like, okay, this is clear, this is clear, this is clear. But when you spot someone, that's when your tone starts to raise. You say, oh my god, there's or you don't say oh my god, but basically you say visual in bar, visual in bar, visual in bar. You say it with a lot of conviction, you say it with a lot of with a lot of gust. Then you allow your teammate to better hear your voice or sometimes like what I like to say is always call your teammate's name. Some things that we do very little in rank or in competitive is that we say, I need help, but who do you need help from and who can exactly help you? So instead of just identifying the problem and asking for help, right, should do the next step of how can you solve the problem solving. So you know the problem is there and you know that you need help to solve the problem, but how do you exactly solve it is the next step. Especially when there's heated moments, right? Like you guys are catching roamers and then maybe the side guys, the anchors are actually coming up to help them. So when your entry frag needs help, what does he need to say? He needs to say, hey guys, I need help right now. I'm fighting this guy in bedroom, but where does he need help? So for him, in his case, when he's fighting a guy in master, the most likely place that he needs help would be main stair. So he will call, I'm fighting this guy in master, but I'm being pressured. This guy is coming up main stair. Then you as a support can watch main stair. And overall, when you're executing around, right, it will get messy, but just try to say the most important things. Sometimes there are things where they don't need to be said even though you see it on a drone. So like let's say you're doing a post plan on CCTV cache, and you have a drone in the the platform drone hole, the one that can see red stairs. Then you see this guy rotating into cache, but he's not really an immediate threat yet because he's not a C4 operator, that kind of thing. So you can say try to say it a little bit softly, but say because your team is already stacking comms, they're planting, maybe they're stopping a guy in garage, that kind of thing. So you can say, I have camps in this area, I see him go into here, but he has a 2-second delay or 3-second delay before he's actually relevant. So that's what I would say when there's messy comms. Just try to prioritize what's important plus understand how you can be helped. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I would say. Any other questions from like Daitoke, Assassin, Fate?
No question.
No.
Okay. Cool. Let's move on. So a little tidbit for you just now when you were saying how do I maybe reset the round, right? When it's very messy, I'll actually be going into the evolution of callouts, which are commands. So commands are commonly used in competitive play. They allow a team to maybe all be on the same page just by using a single word. So it's something that you probably can incorporate into your daily play and your overall experience in FPS. So what are some examples of some commands? Number one that we like to use a lot is reset. So reset is normally called when there's a lot of action that just happened. Then you guys are maybe feeling the adrenaline or you guys are man countdown. Like you already lost 2 guys to the roam clear, then it's like doesn't look good. So you can call a reset in order to maybe cut your losses or push your advantage. So cut your losses in the sense that you're man count down and push your advantage in the sense that you're man count up. So adrenaline is a thing in every FPS. Whenever you kill one guy, you kill the second guy, then everyone's common reaction is to swing the next guy, right? You have a lot of adrenaline. So it's not wrong, but it can often give your teammate give the other team that little edge to make a comeback. And you don't want to not punish that, right? You want to keep pushing your advantage instead of giving away free kills. So whenever we call reset, everybody just takes a breather. They redrone the site, or if you're defending, you just say, okay, this is the angles we're holding. This is the gap in our setup right now. They can push blue for free. Nobody's watching it. That kind of thing allows you to reset the round, take a breather, see what your options are, and then make a play from there. 2, clear comms. Clear comms and UCall are actually a little bit separate, but they're kind of the same, so I put them together. But clear comms is essentially whenever you are in a messy situation, right? Then you really need to clear comms. Like you need everybody a nice way to say, hey guys, I really need to keep quiet. I really need to shut up right now because I need the audio cue from this guy's footsteps to kill him. So very nice way to say that would be clear comms. I need to hear this. Then everybody will keep quiet. Gives you that moment of peace, moment of silence for like 1 or 2 seconds within your comms. Then you can think more clearly in your head what to do next. So UCall. So UCall is something that we use a lot when we are on drone or on camps. It basically means when you and your teammate, you might have been already in this situation, but you guys see the same thing. You're on the same drone. You see the enemy making this play. And then you are very panically saying, he's going to throw a C4 at you, off plan. But when you do that, it might be a 2v2, and then your 3 of your teammates are all on the same drone and you're yelling, off plan, and you're person that's planting cannot hear at all because he's like, huh, what's going on? I can't hear anything. So to prevent that, or to prevent such situations from happening, we actually do a lot of view call. So like let's say me and my teammate Jordan, right? So whenever Jordan and me are on the same cam, then we realize that we are giving the same exact call on the same drone. I'll just say, Jordan, you call instead. Then I'll keep quiet. I'll watch another cam. But to preface this, sometimes in order to prevent such situations from even happening, if you have more than one drone, you can just say, I'm on this main stack cam, and you watch the other cam. Then you guys won't have that little bit of gap, even though you have the drones. Because it's very irritating to get flanked, even though you have a flank drone, because your teammates are both watching maybe a garage drone instead of the lounge drone, that kind of thing. 3. What are you watching? So we were actually doing this just now, which is basically what angle are you holding. But this command is essentially to say, where's the gap in our attack now? Because sometimes when you are attacking, when you guys are about to execute, you might actually give up a very important angle. So I can't really think of an example in Clubhouse right now, but one is the pixel spawn in cafe. So sometimes when you guys are doing for like a cocktail kind of plant, right, in the general long bar area in third floor cafe, you guys might actually have your eyes away from the pixel position, and during that split second, the defender might push up. And that is why it's important for you guys to say, what are you watching before we execute? So before we execute, who is watching cocktail in cafe? Who is watching the freezer in cafe? Who is watching the pixel position in cafe? So it allows your teammate to have more efficient control of the map and without giving any gaps to the defense. Then maybe your dead player can even say, I'm on the red stairs flank drone, that kind of thing. Why use commands? So I already kind of talked about this, so we'll be a little bit of skipping it. But does anyone have any questions about commands, or do you think commands would help you in help you in your daily play? Maybe about let's talk to Daitoke. Have you used commands in your daily play, and do you think they'll help you?
I mainly solo queue since I don't have like a 5 stack or 4,
I see,
so
I
I don't
see.
really use comms. Yeah.
So what about anyone? Has anyone played in like maybe a team setting regularly?
Yeah. So
competitive
basically, yeah, in my team, what we do is we normally use commands, as you say.
Mm,
It's basically we don't use reset. Actually, I think we should start using that.
mm.
But normally, clear comms, you call, and what are you watching is what you use, like very often.
I see, I see. So
Yeah,
maybe reset could be
those are all
something.
amazing comms.
Yeah, so reset could be something that you incorporate and maybe lead you to more
Exactly.
round wins, right? Instead of throwing away
Yeah,
your
reset
advantage.
is something new I've heard now that you have introduced me to it.
Nice, nice. That sounds good. What about I see Zane? Zane, you've been asking me a lot of competitive questions. Is that something you have heard about, or?
Yeah. Yeah. So clear comms and what are you watching? We regularly use that.
Mm,
But as Assassin said, so reset we do not use it very often, and I think it will be a very good addition for our team because we tend to get the adrenaline and throw a few rounds here and there, so we lose the advantage very easily. So I think reset would be really helpful.
nice, nice. That's good to hear. So maybe fast track.
Yeah,
Got any opinions about
basically,
commands? Oh, sorry.
no, I was saying is so basically, my team has an issue where once we get around a continuous 4 round win,
Mm,
our team starts getting a bit overconfident, right?
yeah.
That is, I think we need to incorporate reset into our this one gameplay, basically.
Yeah, something that when we are up, personally when we are up like 4 rounds, because it's first to 7 in competitive, right? When we're up like 4 rounds on a very nice, like we're playing a side, maybe a map that is not really defender sided, but we're defense and then we're up 4 rounds. Something, something that I like to say to my team will be, hey guys, we're in a very good position now, but we can make them have an even worse half right now if we just play our game and then not do anything special and just play the round nicely, still work with each other, don't try any hero plays. Maybe a little bit of pep talk in between the rounds can help also, allows your teammates to realize what's at stake instead of being too focused on the round number and think, wow, we're really smacking them right now. We should really just do something special and really let them feel it. But sometimes all you need to do is just play your game, play it well, then you will eventually come out with the win. You don't need to do any solo heroics, especially in competitive play. So yeah, that's good to hear. So yeah, I was getting to fast track. Have you used commands in your, your daily rank sessions, that kind of thing?
Not me, but our IGL has used commands where he usually says clear comms or just gives us like a general shush if there's like a 1v1 clutch or rather 1v1 situation.
Mm.
And he or rather we as a team usually just use the whatever like calls you want to know about, like are you watching this angle, is there anyone in this area and stuff like that.
I see, I see. So, have you seen any improvements when you guys use commands, or maybe
Oh, definitely. Since like a lot of us don't usually use strats on ranked,
mm,
the comms that we generally do in scrims and stuff has helped a lot in ranked playstyle itself.
for sure, for
So
sure.
whenever we're trying to do like a two-way split push, right?
Mm,
It's like coordinates us every like really good. And if there's like a situation that we can't handle or rather requires one player to rotate back to some other
right.
area where we are one man down or something,
Yeah,
it usually just makes us think that okay, we need to slow down a bit.
yeah.
The third person will rotate to that area and then we can do the split push again.
So, an interesting point you brought up is actually whenever you are in, let's say, a man countdown or even at advantage, you guys might want to make a little bit of a rotate, to maybe push a little bit of an unexpected angle to thin out the man advantage or even it out. So something that I've actually learned quite recently actually is that even when you're flanking, it's something that you should make it a team effort. So what I mean by that is actually, whenever you're flanking, right, you want to actually ask your teammates, guys, is it okay for me to flank now? Because the reason you ask that is because sometimes whenever you're trying to flank, you might actually be doing it in a timing where the other team is already executing, like they're already getting ready to get that bomb down, right? Then when you flank, it might be way too late. Then everybody on site is dead. So whenever you're trying to flank, make sure your teammates understand that you are flanking and they're okay with it. So what I mean by okay with it is basically, can they have enough space, enough freedom of movement to stay alive long enough and to distract the opponent in a favorable manner so that you can flank. So whenever you're flanking, try to make it a team effort. Actually try to talk to your teammates, let them understand that you guys need to chill on site. I'm gonna make the play now. All you need to do is just relax. It's something that you guys can consider and maybe think about in the future when you're flanking. Yeah. So that's something I learned and something that I didn't really cross my mind until you talked about it. Yeah. So thanks. So next. So this will be a very short portion, but basically it's some miscellaneous portions. It might apply to you a little bit if you're intermediate or a very new player. But basically, when you start out this game, you always want to know. You might not know every call. So basic locational calls would be if it looks like a kitchen, it's a kitchen, and then map positions are basically whenever you're in garage, right? In clubhouse specifically, there's the catwalk, there's the M1, M2, which I call them the motorcycles. So left to right, M1, M2. Then there's the garage walls. So there are 4 walls. So my team we call it G1, G2, G3, G4. But a lot of new players or maybe intermediate players, they might not have that level of experience. So for them, I always say use the compass relative positions. So you might say garage second floor in the northwest corner, that kind of thing. It's still good enough, even though it's not the most specific, but it's still better than most. So it's something that I recommend, especially when you're playing a map that is reworked or it's a bit new to your team. Because not a lot of competitive teams have a large map pool. So when you're learning a map, it's not only about the chords, but sometimes it might get a bit messy. So try to keep those in mind. The next step of chords would be maybe the enemy stance. You can incorporate those into your chords. Enemy stance, enemy position, enemy FOV, enemy action. So like stance, is he crouched or standing? Then your entry frag can pre-aim that kind of angle. His position, you see like in the master bedroom, the slant bed area, is in the bathroom. Then his field of view, is he looking at you? Is he not? Then can you full swing him? Is he holding a tight angle? What is he actually doing? What is the enemy doing? Enemy action. Are they rotating? Are they running away? Are they, just ratting in that corner? That kind of thing. Those little bits of information allow your entry frag with more confidence, with more ease, with less anxiety, and overall you will experience that your entry rate or your entry kill percentage goes higher by those kind of small little things. So yeah. For this portion, we'll be actually moving on to videos. So we're playing the videos, then we'll talk a little bit more about I hope each of you can give your comments on what you think the video was about and maybe how the call was like from the person droning or the person entering. Was he comfortable? Was he not? Then how can it be improved? We can talk about those. So yeah, thank you guys.
Is Armory soft?
No, Armory is hard.
No. Armory is reinforced.
CCTV is clear 10 seconds ago.
Okay.
No, Vigil is brick room CC somewhere.
Oh, okay.
I see the signal.
He's not a security side table lah.
You know droning properly?
He's
End of brick room, I think end of brick room.
Vigil or
Visual break, dead. Visual down. Mike?
Vigil or
Hey, he left.
he left.
Why people like to leave, ah?
Half 4, 1 half 4. Anyone got nade?
No,
No nades.
Drone office for me. Drone office.
Oh, wrong button. Whatever.
I don't use that.
Who's droning my Ash? Who's droning Ash now?
Half wall beside the locker.
Who's office drone, ah?
Fountain is clear. Archive.
I'll picking out the side.
Clear.
Cross over it.
Oh, bottom mid. Bottom metal. Bottom metal.
Nice, go back.
You open the hatch
Can
and then.
Oh!
Can someone open hatch?
Okay, open.
Oh, hatch is off. This one also. Start
Okay,
looking,
guys,
go down. Front.
I'll just stay upstairs with me to cover flank.
How's vents?
Ventilation.
Need someone to hold rotate, guys.
I'm holding rotate.
Oh, sorry.
Wait.
I'll plant the door.
Next third.
Cannot see now.
55
One bedroom.
down.
At the table.
I'm in workshop. Just hold the door. Okay. Where's the last? Direction, hold your flank, ah.
Ooh,
Window.
Customs.
Someone watch from the other entrance of workshop.
I'm watching the workshop entrance inside.
Nice one.
Okay, so basically I'll be asking each one of you a question, or basically give you a series of little bit of pointers for you to give me your feedback. But I expect answer from each of you hopefully. But I want to know, what do you think of the calls being given in that video? You know, how was the droning like? Was the entry comfortable? Then after that, what do you think can be improved, or what do you think that's a little bit special, and maybe even some mistakes that the player made? So maybe you start top down. Maybe you start with assassin, or if you need some time, we can move on to the next
Okay,
guy.
I'll start. It was, I think the fragger who was
Mm,
entry fragging had
yeah.
a pretty good, idea of what's going on. Basically, the person was droning, I think, office. He was droning pretty well, but he missed out a spot that was metal stairs, which Ella was holding, and I think Ella got a frag on at I don't know, one person,
Mm,
and even what do you call it? The Ash? She was reloading in Fountain, and then I'd say she got kind of, she got lucky on killing Ella, because if Ella by chance knew where Ash was holding, she'd have gotten Ash as well with the first frag that she got earlier.
yeah. So that's actually a very good point. So especially when you're droning, right, you have to realize that when you're droning, even a little bit of line of sight can get a player killed. So like you mentioned before, because he missed that little line of sight, even though he was not droning for that particular person there, if he as much as called it out or he saw with the drone, that person would not have died. And for the Ash, reloading in an open space and being a little bit unaware of your surroundings will obviously get you killed. So try to have a bit of trigger discipline and reload discipline whenever you're going into an engagement. You want to know when it's safe to reload and when do you even not to need to reload. Daito, okay, you got anything you want to say? So let's talk about the video,
It was really a coordinated play. I like the use of the utility and droning.
Okay, so
Uh,
utility and droning you like. Okay, anything else?
not much to say.
Okay, yeah. But actually, one point that I had, right, I actually discussed with Jordan when we were putting up this video is that actually I didn't like when he used his S charges to open the hatches. So my point being, especially when you're playing in a competitive setting, Ash's strength in the terms of a gadget is actually the range that he has and the fact that he has no fall. How do I call it? It doesn't
Drop.
It doesn't have any drop. Yeah, it doesn't have any drop when you fire it. So especially when you're Ash and you're playing like let's say vertically or maybe down the hallway, you actually want to use your Ash charge to clear things that are far away from you instead of a hatch that you can easily open with the breach charges he had earlier. So if he actually did that, and then maybe let's say there was a Maestro camp in the plant spot that they were about to plant in, right? Where would his Ash charges? That was when his Ash charges would have been more valuable instead of just opening the hatches. So yeah, in terms of utility, not really that well done, but can see where you're coming from, and there's a little bit of an improvement I would say you should look out for in the future.
Okay.
Fast track. Let's talk about the video, man.
I don't really have anything to say. What needed to be said was already said right now.
Okay. But what do you think personally the difference was between maybe your play and let's say Jordan if you were putting your
I think it's the droning. The only difference is the droning because there's always someone pushing and there's always someone droning for that guy who's pushing an area. So live droning is the only difference I would say that is like a huge game changer because if you're gonna take top control, two people will be pushing in and one or two other guys will be droning in while the other third person will be clearing the bottom side and like other utilities they might have set up or anything like that. So live droning is the only difference I think that like
so
makes a change.
since live droning is the difference, what do you think personally, what do you think the difference is between live droning and maybe you yourself droning?
The self droning is just like it takes a lot of time and you might not like drone properly as well because you want to save that time, or you might miss a corner, or as soon as you leave the drone someone might just camp there and you won't even realize that okay, I
Right.
did drone that, but he might have just
During
pushed
the
in
gap
later
that you got
after I
off the
finished
drone
droning.
and took the area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so something about live droning and making your drone valuable is something that I'll dive into later. But basically, whenever you're droning, try to make the most value out of your drones because it's essentially 2 free lives that you can throw away without being punished at all. So whenever you're droning, try to be more mindful of how you use your drones and how do you better efficiently use your drones for your team or as a team. Bait, you got any comments?
Not really.
Hello, Bait.
Not really. Sorry, my mom is holding my sis right now. That's why.
Okay, I think we'll skip you for now. But Zain, you got any comments?
Yeah, just one thing. So I think the person droning for Ash could have done a better job in the call out section, because the IGL I think had to ask once or twice like who is droning for Ash, who is droning for Ash, instead of asking. I think
Yeah.
the person could have upfrontly said I'm droning for Ash in office. I think that would at least slightly clear out the clutter in the com.
Yeah. Okay, so you brought a very good point. It's actually the one point that we wanted to hear the most, but obviously the rest are very good points. I like those as well. But the one thing you should be mindful when you're droning is especially when you're like let's say playing a new team or you're trawling for a team or maybe a rank stack, right? You guys don't have exactly the most maybe time together. You don't really know each other's quirks, ins and outs. And then so you wanna be a little bit more extra. You wanna give a little bit more information and say, hey, I'm the one droning for you. I'm gonna drone in front of you right now. This is where I'm going, which is what I was saying before, right? You wanna let your entry frag know where are you droning. Then, maybe if you don't really know each other too well, who exactly is droning, so he knows whose voice to listen out to, that kind of thing. So yeah, very good point, and keep that in mind in the future. So next video.
Connector and B bomb by the couch.
CEO is clear right now.
In connector. One by the couch. B.
You
B
win, please.
couch.
Chill. One is Des. B Des right now, running to you. Con. One con. Chill, yeah? Just take your 1v1. One is con. CEO, yep. Counters by hatch. Then one con. Just kill con guy. This. Okay, CEO guy on couch. Nice try.
Oh, I use them for
Okay, bottom yellow Twitch. One is injured in toilet. Two toilet, one yellow. Yeah, toilet cubicle right now, right side.
Oh, no, it's a small hole.
Yeah, how do you know I was
Yeah,
there?
the toilet, yeah. It's not the black hole.
One low in bathroom, then one yellow. This winnable. Can reset. I got cam, okay? I can tell when he push front desk. Not pushing, Toilet no rotate, he only got one door. Can you confirm your kill? He's reviving. Single connector. I can tell you went out, don't worry.
It's the guy you downed, he's low.
Yeah, we got front desk cam still. True.
Push.
Long desk side, double door, peek now, he's standing, easy kill. He went connector. Nice. Nice clutch, Jordan. Well
Good
done.
calls.
I call, but I muted the microphone.
No, but right, that one person call can already.
You do.
All of you call, right? He very hard to listen.
I will blur, yeah.
Yeah, so very interesting video. So this video was actually showing some clutches or how do you talk to a teammate during a clutch. So maybe give me your little bit of, your opinion on what do you think you could have picked up from the video. What could have been done better, or what was interesting to you? Yeah, let me know. So top down again. Let's start with Assassin.
Oh yeah, I noticed the fact that he uses the word reset. The person used the word reset in the video there, where Valkyrie was clutching. That was, I think, a really good use of the word reset because, I could tell that the Valkyrie is trying to get the last guy as well after downing. I think Twitch it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very good use of the word reset. I noticed there.
So the reason.
And
Oh yeah. Keep
okay.
going.
No, continue.
No. Let's finish with you. Then I'll add on to what you said.
Oh yeah, one more thing is in the first clip where the Whistle was clutching, what I'd say was he could have taken one fight at a time. So his positioning inside bathroom made him vulnerable from two sides. That's connector and CEO, and there was one guy connector as well. He was peeking the CEO guy while there was a connector opponent. So I'd say what he could have done is he could have gone to yellow if there was a rotation. Could have take the gunfight with the connector guy first, and then maybe gone for the guy in CEO because that's only one angle he has to watch from yellow says.
Yeah.
That's what I had to say.
Yeah, very good point. So actually, the reason why I used reset there was to basically tell because sometimes when you're, like I was saying, right, whenever you're feeling the adrenaline, you're feeling the blood rushing through your veins, you just, after you kill one guy, you kill the second guy, you will try to swing the third guy, or even maybe after the first kill, you were like, damn, I'm so good. Then you want to just swing, but then you might potentially throw an advantage, or in that situation, the IQ might have been holding the Valkyrie for the swing, which is why I said reset. So that's something that you can consider in your gameplay, or even telling your friends, hey, just reset, you're in a winning position now, you don't need to do anything, it's their turn to move. And in terms of the vigil and his positioning, I fully agree with you. There was one connector, one CEO. There's no reason to put yourself in a situation where you have to fight two people at once. Always try to make your 1v1s as advantageous to you as possible. And like you said just now, there's a very little pixel from yellow to con. And that's a pixel that if the opponent is not holding and you're peeking into, you most likely win. So yeah, very good use, very good observation, and yeah, take note of your positioning when you're clutching, and which is why I also told him, just take your 1v1s, don't try to 2v1 someone, it's not gonna work. It looks good, it looks cool on a Skittles video, or a sport video, but for a general player, for you and me, especially we're playing, like let's say you're talking about really wanting to rank up or going far in competitive, you always want to take fights that are 70-30 in your favor, right? You don't want to take fights that are disadvantageous to you. So yeah, good point. Daitoke.
The visual clip, the callouts was pretty chaotic, and if I was vigil, I would have be panicking and have a lot of pressure on me. So I saw vigil like trying to uh get rid of Ace. I think was it Ace? I'm not sure. Then he got killed by someone else, I think, and it costed them the round.
Yeah, so actually that was my tone. So the tone I used, right, was actually damn awful because when I sound excited or worried or maybe a little bit how to say, when I sound too excited, it actually causes a lot of nerves on your teammate. So like I was saying before, whenever you're giving call, try to keep a very balanced tone, then only use urgency in your tone to highlight very important things. Otherwise, you make your teammate feel afraid or anxious, and it really screws up their level of play, screws up the decision making process that they have. I understand Fast Track is AFK, so let's be go with Bait. Bait, how you feeling? Your mic okay?
Yeah, I think should be okay now.
Yeah, sounds better.
Is it better now?
Yeah. Any comments?
Not still trying to process the stuff.
Okay,
video.
then we'll get back to you, but Zane.
Yeah. So one thing I noticed from the Valkyrie clip was compared to the Vigil clip, the comms were calmer, and Valkyrie was able to make sound decisions. And there was just one person relying all the information, and the rest were just watching cams, I think, or cycling on the cams. And I think that's a good sign for an IGL stating that you even called out for a reset. So that was also a very good read of the situation, and Valkyrie didn't get greedy about the kill. And then you asked her to confirm the kill later on once it was advantageous for her.
Yeah. So one thing that you said was actually telling your teammate when is the good moment to make the play. So for me, the kill was when he actually obviously went to pick up the Twitch, right, that was down earlier. So is something that you will pick up naturally when you play the game over time, but it's a bit of game sense as well. But when you're calling for plays from your teammates, you have to know when is the perfect or that little golden moment where they have to actually push up or make a play, you know. Those are some things that over time you will learn, and over time you'll get better, and eventually will lead you to winning more rounds overall. Yeah. So Bait, have you know had some time to think? Yeah, so anything you can take out from what you learned earlier, like what was being applied, that kind of thing. Wait. Okay, I think he's not here, but
Yeah, he's here.
oh, you're here.
Unmuted.
Also, Bait, you wanna?
Oh,
Hello.
yes, the wow.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Mostly it's just I need in terms of like team play, I just need be less like going over the last two videos, the Valkyrie and the video is I just need to be a bit more silent when I play. Because sometimes because when I play with like JShift and others, sometimes if I see something, I just panic and just repeat it several times in case people cannot hear. So yeah, I have to curb that habit a bit.
Yeah.
I have to curb that habit quite a bit.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's a little bit of self-reflection goes a long way. So, which is why I say, always should watch replays of yourself. And it's even better if you have comms recorded, right? It allows you to understand where you went wrong, what kind of improvements can you make, and in the future, what to avoid. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
looking back at my clip with like Enlo fast track,
yeah.
like clip that will me, I was playing with Enlo and fast track the other day on cafe. I was a bit too repetitive. Just say once. Just have to remember to say it like one time and don't panic.
Yeah.
And also remember the calls.
Yeah, for sure. So, calling once is not exactly the one all solve all kind of solution that you can apply, but it's more of call it once, and then if it's really important, call it in a more urgent tone. That's what I would say to you instead of just calling it once. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, let's move on to the next video then.
No, they have verticals on top. It's a maestro. It's the master. They have verticals everywhere.
Maestro low.
Blue is clear.
No, two guys upstairs. One is logical right now.
drone so I can walk up this stairs.
Guys, blue is clear.
I can
clear.
drone. I drone for you main stairs. 0.5 is clear, huh? The one is on
Guys,
the
you
left.
heard that, right? Blue is clean.
Blue is clear. With you on
Blue is
AK.
clear.
Hey, let's just fucking rush blue
With you on
Oh my
AK.
god, he shot legit.
So yeah, from that clip, I think most of you might have already known what's the major issue, but let me know what you thought of the clip and maybe what the person actually droning could have improved on. So yeah, top down. And it's actually very short. So if you really have nothing to say after the first person, I think this is fine. But we'll just talk about the main point, then we'll move on. Assassin?
Yeah, I don't have much to say about this, but I noticed the person who was running was I think waiting for the other person to finish his him calling out. I heard there were like multiple other people going on calling out other things. One guy's running for someone else. So I noticed how she was just waiting to call out the gun rack position person.
Yeah.
That's it, I think, and
Okay.
that's
maybe.
all I gotta say.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, basically she was waiting. It's something that you will do a lot, especially when you're learning to call, right? You realize that you really can't find that little moment to interject and say what you need to say. So when you're faced with that scenario and you have a very important thing to say like she had earlier, which is blue is clear, you really need to raise your tone and say it with more conviction and overpower the rest of your teammates. Especially when you have a very soft voice like hers. She basically got lost in all the calls, like her voice was completely overwhelmed. So yeah, but there's one thing that about her voice that I hope the next few of you will bring up. But let's move on to Daitoke.
Nothing much to say other than her voice being soft.
Okay, what about her voice?
It didn't sound too like urgent for people to realize what's happening.
So
and her voice was too quiet for others
yeah,
to
yeah.
hear.
Okay. Yeah, so very good, very good. So basically, like I was saying earlier, is your tone, right? When it's very urgent or very important, try to increase your tone. Like if she said, "Hey guys, blue is clear, blue is clear. Can all of you hear me? Hey, y'all hear me or not?" Then like make sure your teammates are actually receiving the message. Like make sure they double tick you and understand that, hey, blue is clear. Then everybody will say, because blue is an area, especially in Clubhouse, if you have played Clubhouse, that is hotly contested. If you don't have blue, it's nearly impossible to do a split push into armory, right? For those of you that have played rank or competitive, that's generally the flow of things. And when you have blue free, always try to tell your teammates, blue is completely free now. We can do a stock drop, then just take the site. We'll flood the site since there's only one guy gun rack or AKs. So in short, it was really just her tone. If she was more convincing and she actually managed to raise her voice and overpower the rest of the team, we could have made a play way sooner instead of allowing the opponent to set up. Because sometimes when you take too long, the opponent actually tries to figures out what you're doing. Because it's very obvious, right? If you see 3 drones coming from blue, it's pretty much gonna be a blue hit. But if she said it ASAP, we could have acted on it quicker, and then round win, it was easy as pie. So yeah, moving on to the next video. Yeah, fast. Let's get you the answer because you missed out on the previous one. Oh, fast. Hello. I think he's still FK. Yeah, Bait or Zane, anything to add on or we'll move on?
Just one thing I just noticed. Someone was pushing from dirt, and I think she could have raised, like as everyone said, she could have raised her voice slightly in an urgency tone and just called out.
Yeah,
for that.
Yeah. Okay.
Otherwise, that would be a free body that we are giving to the opponents.
Hmm. Nice, nice. Yeah. Bait, anything to say?
No, no. The others already say what I
Okay,
want to
okay.
say.
On to next skill.
I'm in yellow right now.
Dead, yellow dead.
Okay,
Yellow
who
dead.
got C4?
Spiral open ah,
Me,
spiral
me,
door
me.
open ah.
Jordan, you should drop.
Yo, visa, soda,
Visa,
soda long there, soda long,
I'm not peeking.
soda long left, your right side. Went to
Okay, printer door. Two printer.
yeah, 2 printer.
Then where's the last one?
Two printer.
Holding yellow.
Checking the last one right now.
Where was the goo mine last? Where was the goo mine?
Visa stare, I think.
Yeah, visa says confirm.
Oh, vending machine.
Wow,
Vending,
Quicks, you
one
drop.
vending,
Yeah,
one
vending,
printer.
vending.
Yeah, I drop,
One vending, one printer. Last one should be Iana. Iana in, 2 admin, 3 admin. Soda long, soda in.
I got the jump in.
I can see Visa
I got
door,
it.
Jordan.
Okay, another one printer.
Yana meeting,
I can see
Yana.
meeting door, I can see meeting door.
Iana
I got anger.
meeting right
I'm
now.
trapped, I can't really run away.
I have goo mines on meeting door.
I can only swing.
Yeah, one
I can
goo
only
mine.
swing.
A door and one long.
He got me a long dash ah. Inner long dash ah.
A door.
Diffuser
one
down.
on long.
Jordan, wait.
What?
Let him plant. Jordan, we let him plant.
In. On the roof. In A.
Right side con, Jordan. Jordan, wait. Jordan, wait. Bait me, Jordan. Bait me. Jordan, go. Let's go.
Nice.
Where was he planting?
Behind you.
Oh, lol.
So yeah, the clip was essentially a 2v4, I think, at some point, or maybe 2v3. Yeah, something like that. But it's more of how you call out to your teammates, and probably you guys can give me your opinion on, what the calls were like in the beginning of the round, what changed, and then maybe what my teammates said to me to clear my queries at some point of time during the round. So we'll start bottom up this time instead of going top down. So Zane.
Yeah. So one thing I noticed was Valk and Mozzie. They were communicating in the end round, and the comms were very clear and very precise of what needs to be done. Both were clear of where each one is, and I think that's a sign of a good coordination. Like for example, I think Valk or Mozzie called out bait me, and then called out for a push together. So that really shows the impact of the coordination.
Yeah. So calls are not really just location. It's also a way of communicating with your teammate. Hey, we can actually do this, and with that comes a lot of team play and coordination. Team play and coordination will always win you games. So hopefully you have picked up from that, and then it will help you in the future. So bait. Anything interesting?
Sounded like when at the a third, 1/3 of the way in, there was like quite a lot of commotion, like multiple game. So like very, but so there was like a lot of people talking, and it was like very confusing. So in that kind of situation, like how people filter which one is which?
So in terms of filtering, right, there will always be teammates that you play with or randoms that you play with that they like to add a lot of sugar and spice behind what they say. So for example, this match it was actually Florizen or Flo, the female voice you were hearing. She has this tendency to always, she's like, visa clear. Then she will say, I'm gonna no, and she will start rapping at the end. Then you know, there's a lot of sugar spice, then you get very confused. You're like, okay, I just need to know visa clear. But you're telling me this extra bit. I mean, good on you for telling me, but it's not really relevant to me. So in terms of filtering out, right, you must always know this is my position. That's my teammate's position. And you as a caller, is this relevant? Do I need to say this? And if you're the one on the receiving end, does this benefit me or does it not? Does it concern me? Does it not? Then choose what to listen to. Basically, there's really no way that you can magically filter out this kind of things, but it's more of understanding, you know, what's important and what's not, especially for the person that's calling and the person that's receiving. It goes both ways.
Okay.
We'll skip fast track since he just came back, but maybe Daito okay.
Nothing to say, because what I wanted to say has been said.
So what do you want to say?
The attack. I mean, the Mozzie and Valk attack was quite good because they coordinated together, and I forgot who wanted to bait, but yeah, that
Mozzie.
yeah, the attack was nice.
Some minor things that you might miss, right? It's actually a little bits of information from the Legion just saying, hey, my good minds are here. Then we understand that there's a sound queue and they can't immediately push in the meeting. And another one was when I asked, hey, a good mind just went off. Was that Visa? And then we had a confirmation maybe like 2 seconds later. Because if you see during the start of the clip, right? Because there was a lot of calls going down, commotion going on. I was actually worried about, hey, we know where three of them are, or maybe the majority of them are, but I think there's a guy yellow. So I was asking whether that good mind was for yellow. So do take note. It's also good to ask questions and also good to tell your teammates, my utility was here, I have this, I can see this. You guys have a sound cue before they push this, that kind of thing. It makes a very big difference in the overall scheme of things. So, Assassin.
Yeah, nothing much to say. I just wanted to say that in the beginning of the round, I noticed it was very hectic. Basically, calls from three guys, like everyone's going on calling out. But then in the end, when it was only Valkyrie and Mozzie left, I think it was only you both who coordinated and decided on what to do against the 2v1 situation.
Yeah, so
that's all there.
Yeah, that's a good point. But basically, what you'll notice is that even though the calls are messy, if you're playing in a duo or like you're playing in a 2v2, it's okay to just not let it get to you, you know. Don't let the mess get into your head. Just tell a teammate, okay, this is us, our time now. The rest of you, just keep quiet. Hold what you need to hold, and then we will make it happen. Yeah, so just try to reset around sometimes, especially once it starts messy, it doesn't have to end messy. So we move on with the topic 2 of this overall lesson. It's gonna be very short. Basically, me talking about ideally how you should be droning in this game. Drones are actually, from the rule of thumb, I would say, don't be lazy and reckless with your droning. So don't be lazy and reckless is basically meaning, make sure you try every corner. It's very, very annoying or infuriating to die to something that has already been drone. So when you drone master out for your teammates, make sure you check even the shower, the toilet, the little cubby in the corner, those red corners, you know, always check those because you don't want your entry frag to die to something that has already been thrown. It really tilts the mental, you know. Reckless as in don't let your drone die for free. And I'll get onto that later, but basically think of a drone as 2 extra lives or rather 2 extra sets of eyes. And minimally try to have a mindset of 1 drone for 1 kill. And what I mean by that is basically make sure your drone doesn't go wasted, especially when you're pre-placing drones in the round. If you play it in ranked, casual or competitive, you realize that sometimes your drones just get shot out within the first 10 seconds, and that tells you as a team that, hey, it's okay, we always pre-place, but maybe this match is not one to pre-place because they know our drone spots. Basically don't do something that, you know, will get your drone killed, especially if you put your drone in the same position 3 rounds and it's been shot 3 rounds in a row. Don't put it there again. And then when you're droning for a teammate, try to do a bit of drone parkour. I play with a lot of Japanese players and they're very good at this. But basically what they do is they drone you, then the drone will jump backwards like left or right, that is so hard for you to shoot. They'll jump behind cover. They are very good at making their drones worth it, right? And then if you take that extra half a second to shoot the drone, the entry will have already caught up and killed you. So make sure that when you're droning, your drone is also a threat. You know, don't entry frag with your drone. It's a term that I learned from my previous team. But don't make your drone, don't think of it as your drone having a gun. Think of your drone as being this very annoying little pesky rat that is there to annoy the roamers and then, you know, get you a kill. Moving on with tips. So like I said before, pre-placing is very common and it's something that if you have not already been doing, you should be doing. Pre-place them in entry points that I'll talk about later. But basically, where are you gonna push? Which part of the map are you guys gonna take? Pre-place drones in those areas where it's commonly rotated or commonly held, you know, by the defenders, and then you guys will have an easier time overall taking map control in the long run. And you speed up the whole room clearing process / area control process. Because it allows you to know what utility there is, what the setup is, where the roamers are, that kind of thing. To droning an entry point for your teammate. So when you're actually live droning, right, you will have the pre-place. So when you drone, ideally what you want to do is you re-drone where they are going in, then flick to the pre-place. Like let's say in clubhouse. So you're droning the garage out. And you already have a garage drone, you pre-place, you watched it, there's nobody, but sometimes it's good to check again. So you'll check the catwalk. Bottom garage maybe you don't need to check because you already had a pre-place. And then the next step is maybe you have a pre-place in cache or lounge. Flick those before you actually start droning in, because make use of your pre-place. Don't think of your pre-place as, oh, it's pre-placed there for the rest of the round, I don't need to move it, you know, that kind of thing. 3, using drones to look for utility. This is what I was saying when you're giving calls, but basically drone out the site without face checking. A lot of teams, especially the entries, some of them might be a bit overzealous. They might be a bit rushy. They want to get things done fast. They'll face check. And they'll face check into a shield. And then we all know how that ends. The entry dies, then he whines. Then after that, it's like, damn, we are missing 3 S charges, 2 Zofia impacts, 2 stuns, you know, that kind of thing. It really sucks to face check because if you die early, you're letting your team suffer the consequences. Drone spawns. So drone spawns are something that a lot of teams maybe don't utilize, which is basically you can spawn somewhere different from your drone. Your entry might be going in, let's say, strip club. So you can spawn your drone shipping dock. Then your drone will spawn strip club side, but you can spawn main street. So once your drone spawns there, you switch your spawn during prep phase, then you spawn into main street. Then while your drone is spawned in strip club side. It's that kind of thing. That's what I mean by drone spawns. And 5, flank drones. So flank drones might already be practiced, but do understand that flank drones are not only for flank, they can also be moved late in the round. Like if you guys have a bottom garage camp and you want to go push into oil pit late, you can use that drone, you know. You don't, if you are really short on drones, flank drones have a different purpose, and always try to set them up because they allow you guys to take map control without so much fear. Allow someone to flick the drones, then make sure that you don't get flanked, and which is very uncomfortable. Yeah, moving on, next slide.
Can I ask something? What
Yeah.
is face checking? I don't know the term face checking.
Okay, so face checking is basically checking something that you have not droned out. That you check it blindly, right? What I mean by blindly is basically you don't have prior information, and then you walked into it. So sometimes when you're playing, like let's say a basement defense, there's sometimes some teams like to put this shield facing into the motor hatch, that kind of thing. Then you might not have drone that deep into church, but you drop the motor hatch. Then you essentially face check the whole of church. Then you face check into a shield. There might be a guy playing hard right of the motor church door near the fridge. Or there might be a guy even proning under the table. And when you face check those kind of things, the angles that you have to clear are immense. There are so many angles. So when you face check, there's a lot of danger, then you might die. So try not to face check. And very good question. Something that I forgot to elaborate on. Nice catch. Any other questions?
Sorry, may I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my question is basically related to my team. I'm not talking in general, but what happens is we do all the checkpoints as you mentioned. So we place the flank drones, we place the entry drones, we spawn the drones correctly. But all this happens during the prep phase and sometimes during the action phase. But after placing the flank drone, as you said, the last point, like you can also use it to a drone. So that is where I think my team is lacking. So any tips you would like to give me for that?
So in terms of tips, right, the ones leaving flank drones you always realize are your entry fraggers. That should be the ideal, because the reason why your entry fraggers actually leave the flank drones is because they are most likely to die, and you want their drones to be still useful after they have died. And essentially, entry frags should always try to have both their drones used before they die. I know it's not the most practical mean, but it's the most ideal set of circumstances that you can have. So whenever you are using your flank drones to drone, right, it might be your Zofia or your Ash. So those are the players that you need to take note of and tell them, hey, we already have enough map control. We can give up maybe the area for 20 seconds. Just drone the site. We really need to hit the site now before we get wrapped by the roamers. That's something that you guys can think about and say, even though you have no drone, you actually have one. Because you always ask your teammate and then he'll say, I really have no drone. But actually he does, but it's a flank drone. Then you ask, is it a flank drone? Then he says yes. And tell him, it's okay, just drone. We'll just take note of that later. Then keep it in your mind when you're pushing lah. Like, maybe you left your flank drone from garage drone into oil pit. So garage is your weak point. So when you're hitting blue, take note of the garage side. So that's all I would say for like a team setting, how to use your flank drones.
Okay. Yeah.
So entry points, the tips would be don't be a lazy droner. So when you're droning, like I said before, try to drone every corner, be thorough, be clean about it. Let your entry frag entry without anxiousness, with full confidence, you know. Let them know what to look at next. Droning out common areas. So common areas are like, where do people commonly like to hide? Like in bar, behind the bar, in garage, maybe under the Harry Potter of the stairs, that kind of thing. 3, calling out what you see when you drone. So what are you actually looking at when you're droning, right? I'm looking at bar, you know, I haven't drone bathroom, look at bathroom, that kind of thing. Let your teammate know what to expect. 4, like we were mentioning before, and one of you actually pointed out, call a teammate to entry with your drone. I believe it was fast track. So make sure your drone is having its full worth utilized, you know. Make sure it doesn't die for free, that kind of thing. 5, droning forward. So what we mean by droning forward is actually, once you're drone out of garage, don't stop there. Make sure that your entry gets to entry into cache, into CCTV, into connector for that roam clear. Don't just drone an area then say I'm off drone. It leaves your entry with so much anxiousness, I tell you. Whenever you're entry fragging and your teammate says I'm off drone, you suddenly have 3-4 things to watch and then you don't know what to look at. So why should you join the entry point? It will allow your teammates to take control of an entry point and the rooms next to it easily. So I was saying before, make sure that you have sufficient map control before you actually do your objectives, right? Like opening your hatches, clearing the utility, that kind of thing. 2, allows you and your team to get a clearer picture of how the defenders are playing. So if you droned out and then they're like maybe heavy on the roam in Clubhouse, they have 3 guys. That's your cue to hit side. It's like, if you know it's heavy roam, hit the side. If you can, you know, if you when you know it's heavy, don't get your teammate to drone out blue, drone out dirt. Then you must say, oh, it's free, you know, they have nobody here. Then that's when you can do a fast rush, that kind of thing. That's droning. So moving on to drone videos, example 1. So yeah, so after this, there will be only one video for this, but after this will be a custom game. Then we'll go through overall what you have learned. It'll be a 5v1 setting. Then hopefully you guys can drone out the defender and, you know, punish him. So yeah.
Video. Can you open the door? Okay, let me drone. Okay, I drone the bottom. Bottom is clear. Top rafters got 1. Catwalk got 1. Let's go up. Catwalk got 1. He's by ping 1. We can kill him. He's dead. Okay, he's down.
Jordan behind me.
Wow.
Forgot to drone.
Where you come from?
I'm not sure. I think Harry Potter.
Sorry man, bro. My bad. Stop area. Lounge itself is clean. Swamp is clean. I drone in garage now. Give me a second. Okay, I droning garage. Hey, one Harry Potter. Harry Potter 1. Hey, why you destroy my drone? Never mind, I throw another one. I got another drone. Give me. I haven't checked cat. One Harry Potter, I just care.
Yeah.
Drone on the way. Coming through garage door. Nice kill. Wait, let me check cat.
I got no audio. 90, 90, 90. It's above me. There's
No, there's a
echo.
frostmat. There's a
There's
frostmat on
echo.
cat 1.
What is this? Nobody, right?
Nobody. Catwalk, nothing.
Come here, Jordan. Come here, Jordan.
Frostmat at cat 1. Frostmat
Yeah,
cat 1. Coming to you.
Not top right. Cat 1. Alibi dead.
Yeah, I'm outside
PC
garage.
one.
I don't know. Let me drone again.
Jordan, you never mentioned the PC.
Oh, my
There's
bad.
an echo drone here.
Alibi.
Got it.
Alibi fake clone. Frostmat. Oh, he's hiding in red spot. Echo hiding red spot.
Oh,
By the TV. Ping 1. Cash itself got 1. Cash got 1. Cash got 1. C4. My drone gone.
Uh, I think since like it was only like a staged one, you wouldn't be like live droning so much into the round. You would just pre-place your drone after droning the garage in like a spot where no one can like get it or pay attention to, and then those who are dead will man that cam and give other callers while Thermite pushes with Zofia from garage. That's the only thing I think is like different since it was staged. But other than that, the droning I would feel like was very precise and like he cleared everything, every corner from garage to cache to servers.
First clip, the drone was just on rafters and he didn't move a lot. So communications and knowing where enemies are wasn't really clear compared to the second clip where the drone was droning from first level to top level, and he called out where the enemies were. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing much to say. Good thing is in the second clip he cleared out each and every corner, and the first clip he just went straight into rafters without rolling bottom garage at all, or even oil pit. I didn't even see him draw an oil pit there. So yeah, that's it. That's just a good change that he did in the second clip. All that was staged basically.
I think from now we'll be moving on to the custom gate side of things. So Jordan will take over, then I'll be here observing. Okay. Wait, you sit so flat. My chair.
Okay, so let's take a short intermission, like 2 minutes intermission, go water break, toilet break before we start. You guys can start launching your game and adding me. I'll put my you play here. You guys can just add me and then I'll invite you all to the custom game, yeah? So short intermission about 2 minutes and then come back here and we will continue. Hello, we are back. I'm inviting everyone now. Hello, Twitch chat, we are back as well. Feels weird. Anyways, is everyone back? I am inviting everyone now. Okay, match options. Defender is orange team. Oh shit, yeah.
Starting now?
Yes, starting now. I'm inviting all of you now. That's okay. The bait. Y'all go to the blue team. SSC. Have you
Yeah, got it.
fast invite? Then Zane, have you added me yet? Or is he still AFK? What? I don't. Assassin, can you move over to the blue team?
Yeah.
Thanks. Alright, Fox, you know what to do, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So basically, I'll just defend the objective.
Yeah, so basically, so what's gonna happen now, right? I can re-explain to Zane later, but what's gonna happen now is that so 5 of y'all who just went through this course, just this lesson, right? Will be applying what you learn into a 5-round custom game. So each round you will drone a different entry into the site or into the objective or into the area, so to speak. And your mission is to either get the bomb plant down or kill R6SC Fox, the defender. Right. So we will start with Daito K, since he's on the top on my screen. Daito K will be the entry, and then the other 4 of y'all will drone in for him, or maybe you'll have two people entering, and then the other 3 drone in for the 2 entry fraggers, and then use what you learn, get the kills. If you die, doesn't matter. Don't complain. Clear comms, whatever. Clean up and just have fun lah. Ultimately, all right. See what again? So we will wait for Zane to be back. If not, Quicks, can you be the 5th man on the blue team?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Let me just invite you first. Quicks, are you on?
Yeah, I'm coming
Okay.
in.
Yeah. So this portion is just for everyone to have fun. If y'all don't understand the custom game, please feel free to ask me right now before we start. Just added me. Alright, got it. Zin. Are you here, Zin? Let me see. Invite sent to Zin. Okay. So any questions so far for me, since I'm taking over Divine Valone?
Yeah, I'm on ready.
Alright, cool.
see me flying, never drop down, smoking high, I am not round, no denying what I got now.
Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. I've invited Zain, but I don't see him anywhere.
Oh, I think he was away. He said he was away, I remember.
Shall we just start first as a 2v4?
Oh, he's in. Yeah, so 5v2 lah.
Okay.
So it'll be so it'll be a 5v2. Zain, if you can hear me, what's gonna happen is you guys will take turns to be an entry fragger, and then the rest of y'all will drone, replace your drones and give callouts so that y'all can find the site and kill the defenders. The defenders are allowed to shoot back at you and are allowed to kill you. So keep that in mind. If you want to coordinate your attack to do a double entry or whatnot, feel free to do so as well. And ultimate goal is just to have fun and apply what you learned today. Right. So I'm on call, hence not able to respond to this. Oh, no worries. Yeah, no worries. Okay. So ultimately, good luck, have fun, and just apply what you learn. I am going to start right now. And for those of you in Twitch chat, if you would like to get involved in one of these sessions.
Oh yeah, what? Who wants to go entry frag in this round?
You guys can decide. I would just say I start with Taitoke first, and then y'all decide if you all want to have a double entry or a single entry, and then 4 of your drone, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. We have 4 fragging ops system. Okay, I'll drone for you guys. You can go for entry. I think Zan and Taitoke. You both can go entry this round. I bait and I think fast track can drone for you guys.
Yeah.
Alright, so for those in Twitch chat, if you would like to get involved in one of these sessions, feel free to sign up on our R6SC channel. We are still accepting. Are we still accepting? Yeah, we are still accepting sign-ups, so please do. If not, we have another 3 more lessons coming on. 3 more lessons. Tomorrow we will have 1 lesson from 10 to go and see, right? Alright, okay. Overview, press C again. Okay, cool.
Can anyone confirm site? What's the site?
I think it's cache.
Okay,
The construction hatch is open.
Got it.
We have 3 more lessons.
Where you guys in?
We have 3 more lessons coming up. So you guys can feel free to look out for that. Please chat. Tomorrow will be 1 lesson 8 to 10 PM, and then 2 more lessons on the 31st and 1st of August at 2 to 4 PM. Alright, let's get back into the action. Thank you very much.
1 second. I'm just rolling. Oil pit is clear. I'll just run blue and come back.
I'm drawing Zofia garage.
Okay, I just lagged out.
Oil pit's clear, right?
Oil pit's clear, yeah.
Okay, lounge was clear last I checked.
There's one on blue stairs right now. Which is on blue stairs.
Okay, that's how you do it.
He's still on blue stairs.
Okay.
I'm gonna go oil pit, drone for him.
Okay.
Generator is clear.
Got it. Care oil pit. Just take
Oil
care of
pit is clear.
Got it.
There was
I'm
no
running CC for you guys. Give me a second. One's right here. Nice try. No worries.
Okay.
Last guy's below. Let me go for plant. Give me a second. Zen, can you just watch cams? Bottom garage, prone. He's gone back to lounge, I think. He's coming up red stairs. red.
I tagged them.
Yeah, red hall.
Top red, last scene.
Diffuse isn't taken.
Still top red.
Got it.
There's a server in CCTV. Can someone drone that?
Server is clear right now, man. He's red stairs.
Yeah, he is. Can someone... Whose drone is that?
It's Zain's drone. Zain is gonna plant. Just cover him, please. He's still red.
Still top. He's 35.
Zain, your diffuser. Care bottom garage, care bottom garage. Faster, can you push with Zan, please? He might have gone main says. Might have gone main says.
I got drone on main, watching main.
I have a claymore on cash door.
Yeah, can you just cover him, please? He's
Yeah,
planting. Might come CC, yeah? I can hear Vigils can CC. I can see it, basically. Nice. He's in rafters right now. Rafters. Coming into CC. In cash right now, cash door. Still cash door. Well played,
Nice.
easy. Well played. Well
Very
played,
nice.
guys.
Very nice, guys.
Whose entry?
The same. So I think the same fast track and bait can go entry.
All right. So, what could have gone better during that round, guys? You can. I pause the timer so you guys can talk about it.
So basically, what we could have done is see. Once you took the control of garage, right? One guy can go up rafters. One guy can cover bottom garage, and the other two can drone or stay on drones, whatever is good. One thing I noticed is one guy was in rafters. When the guy jumped out, sees this rafters window, no one covered him, no one supported him, and then there was another guy who was bottom garage who killed me basically. And I think there are 3 guys in garage already when that happened. So that's one thing we need to focus on.
Okay.
So,
Anyone else got any feedback? If there's nothing, then okay. So what I observed was that when you all drone, you didn't drone forward. In the sense that you droned out garage, but you didn't drone out CCTV. So then there was a chance it happened where whoever was playing the alibi could come into CC and jump through the CC window into rafters, right? And get a free kill. Because then it was too late for you to tell the Zofia, like okay, that there was actually someone jumping or in CC right now, servers, right? Someone jumping through the window. So what could have done better was Daitoke could have held back for a little bit, right? Let whoever was droning him, let the drone past him, get into server CCTV, and then push forward, right? So that's what Daitoke could have done better instead of pushing forward when I noticed Assassin said he was going to drone for you into CCTV, but you just kept pushing forward and his drone was behind you. So try to make it a habit where if someone says they're going to drone for you, let their drone go past you first. Use their drone as a bait, use their drone as a sound cue or info gatherer. Right? Don't be too kanchong or too hyper to get into an area quickly. Right? Okay.
Ganchong is hyper, got it.
Yeah, no, kanchong is not hyper. Kanchong is like whatever. Never mind. But yeah, don't rush into things without information. That's the gist of it, right? Okay, so the next entry I would say would be let's put Assassin as the next entry and the 4 of your drone for him, right? Right. Resuming timer.
guys, you can keep your drones for flank. I'll just sacrifice my drone and see what side it is.
Alright.
Last time there was a mistake where the site was called out wrong. That's one thing.
10 seconds to go.
Side's basement this time. Church Arsenal. And I'm gonna keep a sight on cam, yeah? In church.
One in blue. Is it blue?
There's
It's
one
called-
in bar. One in bar. Doing the hatch.
Got it.
I'm gonna go to blue.
See, I'm gonna drop the diffuser. You guys can take it later on.
I have a drone.
Captain near Zofia.
I have a drone in lounge. Watching bottom red.
Okay, guys.
Droning.
Let's push oil pit and blue, yeah?
They haven't done the stock hatch. They haven't done the stock
You
hatch.
haven't done it? Okay. Can Hibana and IQ go together and get the stock hatch, please? And who's this? Zen, what are you doing?
Can someone don't shock?
Just in mid.
Yep, waiting.
You got above first. Hold on. I check below for you.
Have I drawn oil pit?
Check top red once. Whoever's running stock.
Oil
can
oil
just...
pit is clear. Oil pit is clear.
Okay, top red is not drawn out yet.
Captain.
Captain where?
On site.
Got it.
Stock hatch is open.
I
Blue
want.
is clear. There's a rotate in blue.
Yeah, can someone push oil pit with me, please?
I'm going to.
Yeah, just tell me when you're ready. We'll do an execute on site.
Oh,
I'm in oil pit.
Okay, tell me when you're pushing.
There's a rotation on generator.
Okay, that's I made it. There's one in church and one's Arsenal. C4. Bomb chassis. Valkyrie injured. Last in church.
Last in moto.
Oh no!
Comfort plant.
Sorry.
Oh no.
He's a nice.
Well played, guys. Well played. Make sure you go for the plant first, yeah? Don't give them gunfights there. Well played, guys. Well played.
Well played.
You have a chaotic moment there.
Very nice. Match point already so fast.
You said the wrong match point.
I said the rounds for 5 rounds. What is that? Never mind.
I think.
Okay, never mind. It doesn't matter. So much better. A lot better than the first round. Right. Anyone besides Assassin can let me know what you guys did better and how it felt when everyone was more coordinated. Because Assassin, I noticed that Assassin is doing the most talking. He's being the IGL, which is good. He's taking the step up to coordinate you guys. But I want to hear from other people like let's say Fast Track. Zain, I know he's on call, so he can't really talk. Fast Track, Bait, and Daitoke have think of one thing that improved from the first round to this round, and let me know. So I'll give you like maybe a minute to think about it, and then whoever's ready can just start.
I think my drone placement could be better.
Okay.
Because when I heard the call that IQ and Hibana should push stock to clear out the hatch, I had already placed a drone like in the garage door, which I could have just like saved time instead of picking it back up, droning stock instead of asking for someone to drone stock for me.
Okay.
And then move that same drone to somewhere else, like bottom main and somewhere where maybe if there was a push and the drone got destroyed, I could just call it.
Right. Okay. So yeah, so you already learned from doing that. Yeah, in the future try to remember that to keep pre-placing your drones at spots where either the defenders cannot see or a place that you know you're guaranteed gonna push. Right? Because like you pre-placed it at garage, but end up you didn't even push into garage.
Yeah.
Right. So try to, put it somewhere closer to where you're gonna push. Right. Let's go on with Bit. From first round to second round, what did you notice? Overall team also doesn't matter. Yourself also. Yeah.
For me is I need to know my calls better because there was someone behind the bomb chassis in armory. Like when my Iana drone got shot out, then all I could sell was just armory, but not exactly where.
Okay. So so referring back to what Divine Valon said during the call out section, right, was that if you're not sure, you can use the compass. North, south, east, west, northwest, southwest, so on and so forth. So one thing that helped me learn my callouts, right, was what did I see that is a common thing inside that area, right? Like, okay, the bomb chassis is the middle of the site, right? So you saw your Yana clone got destroyed when Valkyrie was at bomb chassis, right? But you don't know the exact call out for that, so you can just say, oh, near bomb chassis, so that your teammates will know, okay, to look in that general area instead of looking all over, something like that, something along those lines. So you don't have to give the exact call out, but you can give the near a certain object or location, like near northwest side of the bomb site or whatever. Right. Right. Okay.
I have to change my play style depending on what I if I have the diffuser or not, because sometimes I can forget that I have the diffuser and I decide to play more offensive rather than passively.
Right.
So like the second round, I forgot I had a diffuser, so I wanted to rush, but then I died with the diffuser.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I was gonna actually say that. But I mean, Assassin already said it after the round ended that next time you just plant, don't go for the kill. Since you
Yeah.
guys have man advantage, right? Man advantage and you have the site. Always go for the plant. No matter what, even if it's a 1v4, always go for the plant. Get the plant down, it's a guarantee win, right? Because he has to come to you now. You don't have to go to him. So it reverses the roles where you as an attacker, you become the defender. Right? So you make him have to move out of his power position or whatever. Right? Cool. Alright. So now let's just okay, Assassin, since you're the IGL today, pick someone or pick two people to be your entry.
Okay, let's have double entries. So, see, I think I didn't see bait and fast track go for entry. You guys can do it this time.
Okay. So bait and fast track go for entry. Double entry, yeah?
Yeah, anything that's comfortable for you guys.
Yeah, can.
Try everyone to talk a bit more also, to communicate a bit more. Don't just let Assassin do the talking.
Bait, can you just sacrifice your drone? There's Ella this time, by the way.
What's the site?
I think CC.
Yes.
Most likely CC.
Okay.
CC.
Okay.
I'm putting
I'm
the
gonna
same
place.
drone on lounge.
Okay, fine. Copy. I'll place my drone in bar.
Okay.
Placing my drone in garage.
This time they reinforce the main wall. So Zan, can you just open it?
Sure, I'll do that.
You can do that. So while you
Are
guys,
there any denials on the wall?
I don't think so. I don't see any right
Okay.
now. Yeah, it's a dock and it's Ella, so there's no.
I'm gonna place a claymore on garage door.
Yeah,
1 second,
garage.
guys.
One bottom garage probably. Yeah, that's the red ping.
Let me just drone. So one's Raptors, that's dock right now.
They're both wait,
Okay.
dock or square.
Getting the main breach right now. Can someone go on
Ella's
CC
in
window, please?
Yeah. So there's one on Raptors. Guys, one thing, let's not dry peek Raptors. Zan, can you just save one for garage?
Yeah,
to
but
open
we
up
need
garage?
someone on CC window to watch the fallback.
Is
Okay,
lounge clear? Is lounge clear? Can someone drone me?
1 second. I'm droning. I'd say don't enter lounge yet because we'll have to clear Raptors from garage.
Okay.
Someone
I'm
drop
droning.
garage.
Yeah,
Someone
he
drop
dropped
garage.
CC again.
Dock drop garage. He's on
someone's in
motorcycle 2 now.
rafters.
Okay, Ella in cash. Last scene. Now in
Okay,
CC.
listen.
Breaching.
Lounge is clear. Enter lounge. And please take a gunfight with motorcycle guy. Now he's behind the blue color box. He's on ping. Now he's on Harry Potter.
Okay, the main breach is done. The main breach is done.
Dogs.
Where's he? Okay.
He's Zan, get in my cam. Zan, get in my cam.
Hold on.
Dog's there. We can go for a plant. I mean, Ella's dead. We can go for a plant.
Yeah, I
Go for a
see your
plant.
cam. I
Yeah,
see
go
your
for a
cam.
plan.
Please go for a plant.
Last scene, I think he dropped oil pit. Share secret. Yeah.
Call.
Where is he?
Red stairs.
He's one HP dog.
Not red
Bottom
stairs.
red last scene.
Okay, I'm
He's in
planting.
lounge. He's in lounge. On ping. On 4 ping.
Nice one. Nice round.
Alright, very nice. You guys came out with a win. Very nice.
Wow, 1 HP, man. Doc, 1 HP.
I mean, he's a doctor. What can you say?
Yeah, I called it secret as well, and just as I called that, he pushed the secret door.
No worries.
Okay, so last round. What did you guys do? What did you guys learn? And how did you manage to get the plant down?
I think we were too focused on Doc and not Ella. I don't know how Ella died, but I think someone pushed from construction or server and then killed Ella.
Ella died
CCTV
from
window,
CCTV window.
I-
Bait killed him.
Yeah. So once we knew that Ella was dead, we basically moved all our attention to planting. Since I knew that Doc was in garage and he dropped oil pit, so that's what we made. We could have just focused more, like split pushed, focused some of our manpower on Ella and some on Doc. That way, we could have just like reduced the casualties, I guess.
Okay. One thing I noticed throughout the 3 rounds was that you guys are not following the drones. You're droning too forward or you're not droning enough. Right? So the last round where Fast Track went into secret, right, as the Nook, and he asked if anyone has lounge cam, or is anyone in lounge, or do you have a drone in lounge, right? And then Assassin said wait, so Fast Track waited. Then Fast Track heard that Doc dropped from rafters down, but Fast Track, you didn't act on the information that was given to you. You were trying to wallbang the Doc instead of trying to coordinate with Daitoke to push in from the 2 doors to pincer Doc. Right? Because you already have a drone in garage spotting out the Doc from Assassin. So you use that information for Daitoke and Fast Track, who use the information and push together to trade out the kill. Right? So you did so then the Doc wouldn't have a chance to run anywhere. Right? Because you were trying to wallbang the Doc from lounge, and Daitoke was trying to push in through the garage door from outside. Daitoke died, and Doc had 1 HP left. But if this was a 5v5 scenario, right, and you give up such an easy opportunity to get a free kill or a free trade, you would suffer later in the round. And I didn't notice if your lion called, but also using your utility, right? Using lion calls, using your flashes, your scans, your whatever utility you have is also a very good thing to do. Remember to use them. Don't just go in guns blazing like Rambo, you know. Overall very good. Good on bait for going over to the CCTV side, the CCTV window. I call it Jenny window because there's a generator there. But that's just me. Good on you to go there and catch out the Ella or whoever was on site. That's a very good flank. But you should try to tell your teammates that you are doing that, so that
No, I just called out someone go on CC window and he. So
yeah. So Zing, so you say you called it out.
yeah.
Someone needs to respond, right? If
Yeah,
someone
I was
calls it
about
out,
to say.
yeah, you need to respond and say that okay, I'm going there now, or yeah, I will go there, and then when you are actually there, you're like, okay, I'm at CC window, I'm gonna break it or whatever, and then I got the kill, let's attack site. Site is free, something like that, something along those lines. Yeah, bit that's for you lah.
Okay.
Right, to be more precise with your calls and be a bit more vocal lah. Don't be afraid to speak, right?
Okay.
Like what you mentioned earlier was that sometimes you call the wrong thing or you call a bit too much. Don't be afraid. Just change the tone of how you call it. Right? Just if you're afraid to speak up, then like you won't have fun. Because you will feel inferior to a lot of things. You feel like my opinion doesn't matter, my callouts don't matter. But which is wrong, because your every bit of information you can get matters. Right? So don't put down on yourself, don't look down on yourself, and don't say that I cannot give callouts because I sometimes I talk too much or whatever. Right? Assassin, really again, good job. Good job trying to coordinate the push and everything. One thing for you as the IGL is try to pinpoint, target the people you want to help you push. Like, say Fast Track, when you asked him to stop and wait before he go into lounge, tell him, okay, now since you heard, like since he said, oh, Doc's dropping, Doc drop down to garage, and you're still on your drone, you can say, okay, Fast Track push with my drone. right?
Got it.
Yeah, fast track push with my drone. Daitoke, are you ready to pincer with him? Because Daitoke is at the garage door, or you can ask them to say where they are, right? So that you yourself can know how to direct them as the IGL.
Understood.
Right. Yeah. But overall, everyone did pretty well. You applied most of what you learned today, and I hope that you guys like kind of took a few things out of this session and understood a bit more things, and can apply them in your daily or weekly games with your friends and stuff like that. And I hope you can teach them as well. You know. I would say that's about it. Thank you all guys for coming out today.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so
Thank you, man.
much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really informative.
if you guys want to continue playing, I will be on later. I'll be on in maybe like a half an hour on up above, and I'll create another channel. But if you guys want to continue playing with me, I'll be on later lah. So
Got it.
I'll be closing
Sure.
out the stream, and thank you all for coming. Really appreciate it. Thank you Quicks and Fox for helping out. And
I need you guys to fill in the form, by the way.
the survey,
Just give me
right?
a sec.
There's a
Yeah,
survey,
Yep.
correct?
Yeah, there's a survey. I will drop the link here.
In the Twitch
Just give me a
chat.
sec.
Is the
Drop in Academy chat.
Academy
I'll
chat?
drop it in
Okay.
Academy chat. Yeah,
Okay.
Academy chat.
Very cool. And,
JShift, can I just ask you a question out of this
sure.
session?
Yes, sure.
So like you mentioned a few tips for the IGL, right?
Mhm.
So are there any plans for you or for SCAPE Esports to conduct some workshop for IGL?
Are there any plans for me or SCAPE to conduct
Yeah.
IGLing course?
Yeah.
I think we have to see
that's a
the
pretty-
interest. Yeah, the interest level. I think the interest level is very important because we have to see like we need to check with after this workshop, because for now we are just like really came up with 4 of these workshops. I mean for now for these academy sessions. So I think it will probably take some time for the next one. We still have to plan for next year.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. So we'll keep that in mind. Thanks for
Yep.
asking.
We'll keep that in mind for sure.
And I will deafen you guys, and I'll see you guys later if you guys want to play.
Yeah.
Right. See you guys. Bye bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen on Twitch, thank you all for coming out today. Say bye. Say your bye byes.
Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you tomorrow. Definitely same time, 8 to 10, right?
8 to 10.
Yeah. Tomorrow we'll be doing angles and setups, so it's a little bit less on theory but more on hands-on. And we hope you enjoy it. So see you guys tomorrow.
All right. Have a good night, everyone. See you in the next one.